Hi guys, and welcome back to another week of That's Wild with Tegan. I'm gonna say this is wild with Tegan. Anyway, this week I thought I'd talk about my intrusive thought of the week. And it's not even that intrusive, but someone asked me the other day, like, if you weren't an equestrian, what would you be? And I have no clue. I feel like when I was a child, I tried many different things, and a lot of them I ended up not pursuing because of my disability. So, for example, I wanted to be a vet when I was younger. I wanted to be a zoologist, and I actually wanted to be an inventor before I got to dressage, which we all know that I probably wouldn't have been able to do. But a little girl has her dreams, and I think one day it might be possible. I always say that once I retire, I'll do something wild like eventing, or I really want to try reining, which is like when you go really fast and then brake and they skid. I really want to try that. What else did I want to be when I was younger? I can't think. It was mostly to do with animals or looking after animals. Or my last choice was a business manager, because I thought that's a good way to make money and it's an accessible field. And I was good at business management in my A-levels and GCSE, so I thought, okay, I could do that. And then last minute I switched to TV and film, which in hindsight was a stupid idea. I mean, it's not stupid, but it's a very difficult field to get into work-wise. It's not that accessible, and it's hard to make money well in this field. Whereas as a business manager, it's easier to start at the bottom and work your way up. It's a much smoother field. But anyway, and then sports-wise, I tried swimming, I tried ballet, I tried basketball, I tried netball, I tried rugby, I tried hockey. I tried a lot of things, dance. There were so many things that I tried and just did not like. And then I found horse riding, and I was like, okay, this is the one that I actually enjoy, that I'm good at. So I kind of stuck to that. But people, so I can't remember who it was. Someone asked me, or when you retire, what are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know, die. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to travel, but I don't really have anything else that I think I could be doing. I can't think of another sport that I would be as happy as I am now if I were to switch, which is crazy, but I just can't think of anything that I would enjoy more. Other than travelling, I love travelling, I love doing my content, I love just going on an adventure. And don't get me wrong, I'm not afraid to try something new. I love trying new things. I just don't have another thing that I would be like, yeah, I'm gonna go and do that because I love it. But then it got me thinking, and because I always like to take the question another step, and I've always thought to myself, if I weren't disabled, what would my life be like? And the reason why I like this question is because to me it's like a fairy tale. It's so unimaginable, it's so beyond reality to me, that I just find it entertaining trying to imagine what my life would be like. Because I do think my disability is a part of my character and personality, and it also, I feel like it humbles me. It keeps me humble. It keeps me a bit contained. I'm not as wild as what I think I would be if I didn't have the restrictions of a disability. So I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, well, I'm pretty sure I would have been like the really sweet and lovely child, but I know I would have been very like boisterous and very loud in certain places. And I think sports-wise, I always loved more sports that were aimed at boys, like football or basketball. I enjoyed those more. There's not a lot of sports that I actually like enjoyed, but if I weren't disabled, I don't think I would have found horses. I don't think I would have found that opportunity. I think I would probably be a dancer because my mum loves dance, and I'm very good at learning choreography and like remembering choreography or creating choreography or like learning steps. I'm very good at that now. I just don't enjoy doing it because I feel like it looks weird. But I feel like I would have been put into dance, and I would have been put into singing for sure. My mum always wanted to do singing but didn't. I actually have done singing, but let me clarify, because just because I did singing, it doesn't mean that I can sing. I cannot sing, but with my disability, the singing helped with breath control and like my speech. So I did singing for like 8 years with like a singing tutor. And we did everything from like opera to pop to musicals, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I'm very aware that I cannot sing, but I know how to breathe better and I know how to speak better, so it was still good for me. But anyway, then I was thinking about if I weren't disabled, what career path would I probably have wanted to go down? And I know 100% that I always wanted to either be an animal person, so working with animals, whether that's a vet or a zoologist. Those were my two options. But my other field of work that I would love to be in, that I just think, like, I could do it, but I don't think I ever thought about it seriously because of my disability. But I've always wanted to work in like MI5 or any kind of investigator, or what are they called? Like an agent. I always wanted to be an agent. I feel like that's really up my street. And I mean, I actually did look at it as a career for me now, because I thought, well, no one's going to suspect the little disabled girl as a secret agent, so like it's a perfect cover. But I haven't gone down that route, but I could still in the future. But I love anything to do with investigation and like crime, and I don't know, I'm very fascinated about like the psychology of people and how the brain works and how the brain can change how you think about certain things. Like, I'm always curious to like, what makes a murderer, or what makes someone do those kind of things. And it might sound weird to some people, but I'm very fascinated in how the brain plays such a huge part in creating those decisions, or not creating decisions that lead to certain offences or causes. I don't know, I find it very fascinating. But I'm pretty sure if I weren't disabled, I'd be either a secret agent or a zoologist. They're very different sides of the planet, those jobs. So that's what I think I would do. But yeah, but then again, saying that also shows how like not unaccessible, how inaccessible jobs are for disabled people still. There's many jobs that aren't accessible for everyone to be in, especially in fields that require a lot of like practical work. There's a lot of restrictions around employment and adaptation. Like, people are still scared to adapt their business or brand to become accessible, which is so stupid because there's so many disabled people out there that want to work, that need to work, and yes, it may be harder for us, but all that is needed is just a bit of adaptation and suiting the job to meet our requirements, and then we'll be able to do the job as anyone else would. And it's very frustrating because even in the world of like employment, even in the world of employment and trying to get a job at the moment, there's many jobs that now have like the job description as aiming towards diversity and inclusion, and they're looking to hire like someone that's either black, Asian, disabled, I don't know, someone from a minority. But then when you apply for those jobs, if you disclose that you're disabled and you disclose what the disability you have, it feels like you're kind of automatically written off, and they'll go for someone that's either less disabled or just get someone that's Asian or black as their equality is higher. So it can be quite frustrating, but I don't even know. I feel like it's starting to change slightly, but it's like people will walk a mile and then like take 2 miles back. It's just really hard for anyone at the moment to actually get employed in a job that they enjoy, that they like, that suits the requirements that they need. And I feel like it is changing slightly, but it just, like, people will go so far and then it gets taken back a few, and it's never like as progressive as what people make it out to be, I feel like. And I also feel like a lot of disabled people might struggle to work part-time, no, to work full-time, but what they could easily do is hire 2 disabled people part-time, and 2 of them together could cover the full-time job, if you get what I mean. I feel like there's ways around it to make sure that the job's getting done, but disabled people are still getting jobs and being able to work, because if you don't know, being disabled is very, very expensive, and it's not expensive by choice, it's expensive because there's a lot required from us to be able to live, and we have to pay for support or pay for medication, treatments, physio. There's so many things that have to be done just for us to be able to live and be happy in the life that we're living, that we have to work, because even if you get disability living allowance or payment from the government, it's usually not enough to cover actually living your whole life to the fullest. It probably will cover your carer, or they usually cover things that are extras that you require. But then if you pay for those extras, then how are you going to go buy groceries or like So, it's hard. I don't even know what I'm saying now. But lastly, one of the things that I was absolutely enjoying this week is, if you haven't watched it, there's a show on Channel 4 called Virgin Islands, and it's a show where they take, I think, like 16 virgins and they send them to a sex and intimacy camp, and the whole idea is that by the end of it they are no longer virgins. And first of all, I was kind of shocked that they had this on TV, but I love a progressive and very in-your-face commission. And it was actually really interesting because it taught a lot about sex and intimacy and consent and like bodies in general. And I feel like this show taught more than what children are learning in school, which is terrifying because children have such malleable brains. Like, they take in so much information that if the information is wrong, that can change how they go in future regarding sex and intimacy. And I feel like this show could almost be shown in schools to teach children because it is so informative. And I think if it's on TV, then surely it's fine to be shown to children at schools. But that's the other thing that I wanted to say was the only thing that I didn't like about the show, that they had no one that was disabled on the show. And I feel like they kind of missed the trick because disabled people still experience sex and intimacy, and it probably is even more scary because there's a judgment of how you're going to be perceived because of your disability. So I feel like this would have been a good opportunity for someone with a disability to be on the show and to show the like mental and physical struggles, but also just kind of like see it in person. I feel like it's the safest place to go to a camp to be with experts on these situations, to then talk through it and like show the person, but also show other disabled people how it all works, I guess. I don't know, I feel like there's lots of taboo around sex in general, but there's lots more around disabled people having sex. And we're all human at the end of the day. And I just think it would be a good opportunity to show that on TV, that disabled people are humans too, and they experience this too. And it might be different to how someone without a disability might do it, but they still can do it. I feel like it's a good opportunity. So I'm hoping for season 2 someone applies that has a disability and they can kind of lead the way, pave the way to show for people, but also to learn. There's so much to learn. I really do think that they need to be more, they need to show more care in what they teach kids in sex education at schools, because this shit is really shit. The teachers are so scared to talk about it. They don't want to. They use like the wrong names for everything. They don't answer questions that much. They just they're scared to talk about it, and then because the teachers are teaching it wrong, or teaching it because they don't want to teach it, that then affects how the kids take in the information and create this bias and stereotype around sex. And that's one thing that I think really has to change. It just has to be modernised and more inclusive of everyone. I'm probably an external teacher rather than like your English teacher to teaching you about sex. I feel like maybe it needs to have some separation. But anyway, that's all I have time for today because I have to go. But thank you all for listening. And don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment up on anything you want me to talk about next. And I'll see you in next week's episode. I got my keys in my hands, so I can't give you a proper kiss, but thanks for watching.